sheet that you were doing last lesson, there was some brackets that started coming into some of those harder questions. We want to practice that a lot more today. Now, when you learnt these questions last year, you may remember that if I just have a number at the front like this, you can divide that number straight away. However, that process doesn't work for harder equations like question 3 and question 4. So instead of using that technique so that we have something that will work for every type of question with brackets, I want you to always expand the brackets first, because that will always work. Expand the brackets first, and then it will become like one of the types of equations that we've already been looking at, and we'll be able to solve it from there. So, question 1, expanding brackets first. Remember that to expand the brackets, you're multiplying 3 times p, which is 3p, plus, then you times 3 times 4, which is 12, and that is equal to 18. That little extra step now means that just looks like a normal 2-step equation. I am trying to find out what the p is, which means that the 12 and the 3, I need to move away. The 12 is the one that has to go first. So the opposite is to minus 12. From both sides, got to keep that equation balanced. Then we write down what is left. I have 3p, and 18 take away 12 is 6. Okay, then I need to get rid of the 3. So I'm going to have to do the opposite, which is to divide by 3 and cancel that out. P is now by itself, and 6 divided by 3 is 2. Both of you boys can stay at recess, please. Question 2. Always expand the brackets first. Minus signs. Remember to be careful of minus signs at the front. Minus 12 times 3 is minus 36, and there is a Q. Now remember, when there is a minus sign out the front, we did lots of these in our algebra topic, the minus sign is going to come in and change that plus in the middle to be a minus sign. 12 times 5 is 60, and that is equal to negative 132. It's often the minus signs that trick people. Okay, if you get your signs wrong, mess one step up and it messes the whole equation up, unfortunately. But if you're showing me you're working out, you won't lose all the marks. Okay, so always show what you're doing. So the Q is what I'm trying to find. I have a minus 36 and the minus 60. Both of those numbers need to move away. The minus 60 will go first. The opposite is to plus 60. Plus 60. Crossing that out, I write down what's left. Minus 36Q and minus 132 plus 60 is minus 72. Okay, next step, I still have one more number with my Q there, which is the negative 36. Now, even though it's a negative number, it is next to the Q, which means it's multiplied. The opposite is going to be to divide by a negative number. Divide by negative 36. Cancel that out. Q is by itself finally. Minus 72 divided by minus 36 becomes a positive 2. Yep, use your calculator to divide the numbers if you need to. All right, next one. Question 3. Expand the brackets first. That's always going to be my rule. Expand the brackets first. So 4 times 2x. 4 times 2 is 8x. Then I have a minus sign. 4 times 5 is 20. I have a plus 3x. It wasn't in the bracket, so it's not going to change. It just sits there at the end. And that's equal to 57. Now, before I start trying to move things away, you will notice that I've got 2 x terms, but they're on the same side. Okay, when they're on the same side, I just need to collect them up. I go 8x plus 3x makes 11x minus 20 equals 57. Now that we only have one x remaining in the equation, we want to move everything away from that x. Starting with, what should I start with?
Minus 20.
The minus 20. And the opposite will be to plus 20. Cross the 20s off. I have 11x equals 57 plus 20 is going to make 77. Next step and last step is to get rid of that 11. It is multiplied. So the opposite is to divide by 11. Get rid of that. X is by itself. 77 divided by 11 is 7. Okay, each one of these equations, they're slowly getting harder. The next one has 2 sets of brackets. That's okay, you just expand both of them. So the first one, 2 times 3k is going to be 6. 2 times 3 is 6k. Then the plus sign. Expand 2 times 1, which is 2. Then the equal sign, and we start expanding our second bracket. 5 times 2 is 10k. Minus sign. 5 times 6 is 30. Okay, we do have k, 2 of them, 1 on each side of the equation. This is what we were focusing on last lesson. If there is a k on each side of the equation, then you want to move the smaller one. So 6k and 10k, which one's smaller? 6. Now, I want to move the whole term. So it's a positive 6k. I want to subtract 6k. Okay, that will cancel off the k's on the left-hand side. Now, I'm going to do my little switch. Because my k is on the right, I want to bring it over to the left. 10k take away 6k is 4k. And there is also the minus 30. I've moved that to the left-hand side. The 2, which was on the left, I'm moving to the right, so that's equal to 2. I just like to have my letter on the left-hand side. That's where we're used to seeing it. Okay, the k, there it is. I need to get it by itself. There is a 4 and there is a minus 30. Which one goes first? The minus 30, which means I need to plus 30. Good. Cross those off. 4k equals 2 plus 30 is 32. One more number with that k, which is the 4. It is multiplied, so I divide by 4. K is all by itself. 32 divided by 4 is 8. Okay, is it getting easier? Yeah, the more you practice, the easier it gets. Question 5, definitely the hardest one we've got here. We want to expand the brackets first. So the minus 5p is not part of the bracket, okay? The 4 needs to multiply by each thing in the bracket. So 4 times 1 is 4, plus, then I do 4 times 3 is 12p. Then I have an equal sign. Expand the second bracket. 6 times 2p, 6 times 2 is 12p. Minus sign. 6 times 6 is 36. Now we have 3 p's. One here, here, and here. 2 of them are on the same side. What should I do, Cash?
First, I think you should do the 5p, 12p.
That's right. The ones that are on the same side, collect them up first as like terms. So minus 5 plus 12. You don't do any opposites when they're on the same side. You just do the symbols that are there. Minus 5 plus 12 makes 7p plus 4. Okay, I'm leaving the 12p because it's on the other side. Now I have a p on each side of the equation. So I want to move the smaller one, which is going to be which one?
7p.
7p. What is the opposite of 7p?
Minus 7p.
Good job, Cash. You know all the answers today. So subtract that 7p. Okay, because my P is on the right-hand side now, I'm going to do a switch. 12P take away 7P is 5P minus 36. And the 4, I'm moving to the right-hand side, so equals 4. Okay, P, I'm finally down to just 1P. So I now want to focus on the numbers, moving those two numbers away from the P. Someone other than Cash, because Cash knows all the answers today. Sai, what should I do first?
Plus 36.
Excellent. Plus 36 to get rid of that one. So I have 5P equals 4 plus 36 is 40. Next step, somebody else. Julia.
You divide by 5.
That's right. I want to get rid of the 5, so I divide by 5. P is by itself. 40 divided by 5 is 8. Okay, so you can see we're getting quite a number of steps in these equations, so it's important that you do each bit of working out so you don't get yourself confused. So your questions are right there on the next page, page 17.